So earlier today, I was watching a video on Smarter Every Day, and at the end of the video, he was promoting a VPN service, and he was mentioning how a VPN will protect your internet. It can, and the way that he was explaining it about having your internet connection encrypted and protection and all that other stuff, um, that does make sense and it is true to an extent, but I would actually kind of like to clarify that a little bit. Basically, when you have a VPN, essentially all you're doing is you're running all your traffic through a VPN server. So essentially, what's happening is instead of having all your traffic go here through the black line to the www dot whatever, so Facebook would be a good example. Facebook knows you as 10.8.92.4. This is a completely arbitrary number. It has no meaning to it other than the fact that that is a theoretical address that could be assigned to your house for your internet traffic. And basically what it's saying is that when you go to the website, it knows you as that address. If you go to the same website with a completely different address, for example, if you were to go through a VPN service and it changed your IP address to 176.29.3.12. Again, completely arbitrary numbers. These numbers mean nothing. They might not even be actual IP addresses for the actual internet domain. But just as an example, all your traffic would go through the VPN and it would essentially change your IP address or give you an IP address of the VPN. Essentially, all this is doing is this is changing what the internet sees your address to be. A VPN does not secure your internet connection in any way. It doesn't protect you in any way because, for example, if you log into a website like Facebook and you log in with your user ID, you could be logged in through Tor. And if you know what Tor is, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You can log in through a VPN or Tor or any of these different tunneling providers, and you are not getting any amount of protection or anonymity if you log in with a normal account. So, for example, in order to make a VPN or any type of tunneling system effective, what you have to do is you have to make a different login for whatever website you're using with a different email with potentially even a different browser than what you're normally using, because there is a thing called tracking cookies, and you can Google this. And what it does is it helps websites to keep track of who you are no matter if you go somewhere else. So say, for example, if you had a laptop and you had it at your house and you logged into Facebook, and then you take your laptop and you go to somebody else's house, Facebook is when you go to your computer, it's going to know who you are even though you didn't even log out, because it because of tracking cookies, it knows who you are, and the only thing that changed was your IP address, which is actually just changing your geolocation of where Facebook thinks you are. So the only thing that it's hiding is where it thinks you are. Essentially, that's all it's doing. So there's no real protection there other than your location. Now, if you were to log in or if you were to go to a website anonymously, then it would make perfect sense, because then the website, if you're not logging in, if you have no tracking cookies, for example, if you went on Chrome or Firefox and you went on incognito mode, then your browser isn't going to give out any usable information. And then when the website tries to look at your IP address, then it's not going to get any usable information, because it's just going to get a IP address that has no reference to you. So essentially, I just wanted to make this video to clarify the fact that a VPN is a good thing and a very useful thing for, maybe somebody that has a political background that they want to voice their opinion, but they can't depending on where they live, and they don't want people to be able to track back to them based on their IP address, which can be, there are different ways to find out somebody's IP address, and a VPN can help make it more anonymous, but it will not protect your information, even though it's encrypted. All the information that comes out of your computer may be encrypted from your computer through the VPN to the end website, but honestly, it's more likely going to be encrypted from your machine to the VPN, and then once it gets the VPN, it opens up from there, simply because there is not a VPN connection directly to the website itself. So let me just draw this real quick here in blue. So if I take this, let me make another page here. So essentially, the encryption is going to be here. Okay, so it's going to be from the computer to the VPN. From there, it's not going to be encrypted to the website, because there is not a VPN running on the Facebook, for just as an example, Facebook's end of the internet connection. So from all here, it's not going to be encrypted. So that's another thing. So it is secure, but it's only secure up until the VPN provider's servers. Past that, unless they have unless there was a VPN going from that VPN to the site itself, there is no encryption on that, unless you're using HTTPS, and then that would be secure all the way to the web server. But that's a discussion for another day. Anyway, the long short of it is that a VPN is useful and helpful, but only when it's used in the best practices. Using a browser incognito mode without using tracking cookies, using a bogus login for your account with a bogus email. For example, you could use something like Gorilla Mail, or a different type of email service that makes up random email accounts that are only good for a couple minutes. So that way, when you're browsing, or any account that you're using, you're not tying anything back to yourself, because that's the whole thing with browsing anonymously, is not leaving a paper trail that ties back to you, that people can reassemble. And if you put any personal information while using a VPN, it negates the whole fact of using a VPN in the first place. The only time that a VPN can be useful is if you're trying to log into something from far away, that normally wouldn't work. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, for example, if you were in another country and you used a VPN, and for example, if you tried to do some online banking, and you were, if you lived in North America and you went to South America, or if you went to Africa or something like that, and they have all connections from those countries blocked, and you weren't able to log in to do your online banking, if you went in with the VPN will get through, and it will actually show up as a inside of North America IP address, and then the servers will say, oh yeah, we know that you're in the United States, we know that you should be a normal user, we will allow this traffic to flow, and then you can log in with your normal account. That would be a valid use for a VPN. But thinking that a VPN is going to give you any amount of protection or encryption or security outside of the fact of normal day-to-day internet usage is not true. It's not going to secure you anyway, because if, for example, you could have the world's best alarm system on your home, but if you don't use it properly, if you don't arm it when you leave, if you, for example, set the right settings on it to, guard the doors, but not the motion sensors when you're at home, different, it's an analogy, but, just as an example, if you don't use it properly, it's not going to work properly. It's not going to do what the end goal is. So I just wanted to clarify that. So hopefully this video was at least a little bit informative. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, ring the bell, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.